Hello everybody, welcome to our first video from YLWT. You're with Rejan at the moment, and as you may have guessed from the title, we're going to do multiplying out brackets. Let's get right into it. So let's start with some basic things. I'm talking real basic. We're going back to the start. What does this mean? It's actually equal to 15, because when you have brackets, what you're doing is multiplying it. You're multiplying what's outside with what's inside, and of course 5 times 3 is 15. So actually, let me write that out. There we go. Next, say we have more than one thing inside the brackets. What if it's 5 times 3 plus 2? How does that work? How do you times 5 by 3 plus 2? Well, this is when you gotta do it separately, and that's why we use these lines. One for that one and one for that one. So what does that line represent? That represents 5 times 3. So remember, it's all about times. So I'll give times a tick, but plus, minus, divide will get a red cross, because it's not about any of these, it's this one. So the line is always times, not 5 plus 3, not 5 take away 3, not 5 divided by 3, 5 times 3. So what we get is 5 times 3 from that line, and 5 times 2 from that line. So 5 times 2 is separate. So what do you do with these two things? You add them. Okay, you have 5 times 3 and 5 times 2, and is also add. You know, what's 5 and 4? 9. And just means add. Okay, so from that we get 15 add 10 is 25, and that's what it is. So far we haven't done algebra, it's just numbers, no letters, but we're going to get to that soon. First, one more example. What if it was 5 plus 3 in the bracket 2? Now, are you going to do the lines like this, like before? No, because this 2 has actually got nothing to do with this 5. So let me scribble that line out. Nothing to do with it, because they're not connected, they're not part of the same term. This is one term, this is another term, whereas here, this whole thing is a term, because there's no add or take away or divide. So what's this one? Have a go and do it yourself. Did you get 5 plus 6 equals 11? Because if you did, then give yourself a tick. Okay, so we've done it with numbers. Now let's do some algebra questions. We'll start off the same. What's A with B in brackets? Well, if you do that line, it's AB. Now let's bring in some numbers. A and 3. Well, really, if you look at this, it's the same thing. AB is equal to A times B, right? So in this case, B is just 3. So it's A times 3. What's A times 3? It's just 3A. Okay, let's add some more terms in the bracket. Now try this one yourself. What did you get? The answer is actually 11A. How do you get that? It's because, let me get them different colors, a little bit of purple. A times 3 is 3A. A times 8 is 8A. So you have 3A. Well, let me do that one in purple. 3A plus 8A, which is 11A, and it makes that. Okay, now how about some double brackets? How does this work? Well, worry not, because I'm going to explain it all. So what you do, you start with the first letter, and with that one, first term should I say, in the bracket, so that would be A, and you multiply that with all the terms in the other bracket. You're not multiplying A and B because they're in the same bracket, but these two brackets multiplied. So what's the first thing you're going to go to? It's the 4. Then you're going to go to the 6. So you're going to do A times 4 and A times 6 added. Then with a different color, we're going to do B times 4. Well, actually I can do this one around the bottom for clarity. B times 4 and B times 6. That's it. Let's do it. So we get 4A and 6A, and then the same thing with the B, 4B and 6B. Let's do a few more examples till we got this down. How about this one? Try it out yourself first. Don't forget to do these lines like this. Okay, let's do it. We're going to do the lines, and you'll notice as you get faster and faster, you might not need to do these, and that's okay. But we're going to use them to help us visualize. Also, I hope you realize this is B plus 6, not B plus B. So in blue, we got, what's A times B? AB. What's A times 6? 6A. 4 times B is 4B in red. Add 4B. Remember, we're doing add because all of these are positive. But if they were negative, it would be minus. So don't let that throw you off. So where was I? 4B. And then 4 times 6 is 24. So, can you simplify this? No. But can you simplify this one? Yes. 4A and 6A is 10A, and 4B and 6B is 10B. Forgot to do that before, but now I'm telling you, always simplify. Okay, let's do one more example. A minus 3, A plus 5. Try it at home first. Okay, let's go. We got A times A, which is going to make A squared. Then A times 5, which is going to make 5A. So we've got A squared, add 5A. Next in red, 3 times A makes 3A. So we're going to do plus 3A? No, that would be wrong. So if you did that, don't worry, because I purposely did that to catch you out so I can teach you that if you have a minus, it's no longer 3 times A. This minus is attached to the 3. This is not a 3. It's not 3. This is minus 3. It's negative. There's a big difference. See this 4? That's a positive 4. How do you know? Because it's got a plus. But what about this A here? Or this 4 here? Is this not positive because it doesn't have a plus? No, these are still positive. But we don't need the plus. You can just assume, if you see a random number, you can assume it's positive. But if there's a minus in front of it, you cannot ignore that. This is part of the term now. They are together. So, I know I spent a long time explaining that, but that's because it's important. So this is not minus 3 times, sorry, this is not 3 times A, this is minus 3 times A. So let's fix it up. And minus 3 times A is minus 3A. In the same way, minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. And that's it. You should now be a master of expanding.